I didn't build it. It was obviously the team that built it with Steph and the boys. And it took them right around 3 months, I think. Got the car just before Christmas. Went straight to acid dip, and then they had a lot of work ahead of them. And car got finished on time, just in time for last week in the New York Auto Salon, our auto show. So that was a pretty hectic build for them, but I think the car turned out amazing.
Question for the reigning champ. Who do you think is going to be your biggest competition this year?
That's a very good question, especially with the extremely high level of Formula Drift. A lot of new cars, a lot of people developing their own chassis, so I think this year is shaping up to be one of the best years of Formula Drift, in my opinion. Everyone seems really focused and really ready for it, so I think it's anyone's game. It's going to be, I think, a good year.
Just get a quick download from last year, starting with Matt. If you can just give us a quick recap on the season and some of the off-season preparation, especially as it pertains to these two guys, as all three of you, I think, are ultimately fighting for a championship.
You know, last year was definitely a rough year for us. We had some mechanical failures, some odd things that held us back from doing as well as I would have hoped we were going to do. But we kind of have to forget about that, take what we learned, and move forward. And my S14 was 7 years old at the end of the last year, and it had definitely seen better days, which is why we decided to build a new chassis. And I was a little bit tired of the 240SX chassis, S chassis in general, and I was just ready to turn the page in my life and do something different. So we did a bunch of research and figured out what we thought might be a good competitive chassis that kind of already has some support with it. Not like Frederick, who's got to build everything from the ground up. Fortunately for us, there was already a ton of stuff, the aftermarket side, the racing side, that people made parts for a Corvette. So moving into the off-season, as everyone likes to call it, which we all know that there really is no off-season. It's just the time to build your car, get it done, promote yourself, sign your deals, and get ready for the start of the actual season. It took us about 5 months, I think, to get that car built to where we were at the point ready to test. And I think it turned out great, but all throughout testing, no matter what you do, nothing can simulate what you do out here on the track, at an actual Formula Drift track, because the level of competition is so high. No matter how good you think your car is, it can always be better because somebody sitting right next to you is probably doing better. So this year is just going to be about getting the car to the level that it needs to be. I think it's already getting close, which is fortunate for a new chassis being as close as it is, but no one can tell until you actually get out there on track and start driving with the big dogs.
We've gotten really humble. I don't know what's happened. But yeah, amazing to see your car out here. It's cool to see the diversity, I think, and on our end, having been a part of the Sign family up until last year, building a new Corolla, I am going into the 2017 season, and now the new Corolla. I think from the outside it may look like it's all been part of the same, it's all been part of the same family, but behind the scenes and in reality, last year's car was more of a carryover from Scion. So this year is actually a really big deal for us because Toyota has never been more invested into the sport, and to see our car be unveiled in New York last week in front of some of the world's most important car journalists, and it was an amazing feeling, and to see Toyota be that into the sport that we all love is, I think in all honesty, it's a big deal for us, but hopefully it's a big deal for the whole sport, and I hope we can carry on with that diversity with Corvettes and Corollas and Nissans, and yeah, it's shaping up to be a great year. We have built a car that we believe is more competitive than what we had before. The car is largely the same in terms of technical aspects, but I think it's allowed us to really improve on the things that we could. So this car is not really a challenge, it's more of an opportunity to build an ever better car. So again, we need that to compete against these guys. I think James and Peter coming in last year showed us all that there is a next level, and hopefully we're on that level this year.
Yeah, it's for me personally, having the opportunity to compete here in Formula Drift is an ultimate dream of mine. I first competed in Formula Drift in 4 rounds back in 2010, and we had some success driving a Falcon Tire S15 back then, and then I went back to Europe. I'm from Ireland originally and focused on European competitions. So we drove a lot in Europe, and over the years I realized that my biggest competition was my teammate, now Peter Więcek from Poland, and we became very friendly through competition. And you know, speaking about our dreams and everything, Formula Drift was our ultimate dream as competing, you know, in worldwide drifting levels. So it came to coming up to last year, we had a great opportunity with Worthouse, metal roof company based in Chicago, and they wanted to start a drift team. So myself and Peter, teammates of this drift team, came and we got to basically live our dream competing in Formula Drift, 1 full season, our own 2 cars, you know, very professional team, and we gave it our full focus. And to be honest, leading into the first rounds, we didn't know what to expect. Obviously, the competition and the level and the diversity of cars and setups and teams is really big compared to what we're used to back in Europe. So we just came here, tried our best, and it started out really strong for me personally. I drove here in Long Beach back in 2010, and I really liked the circuit. So I, you know, I had a kind of a thing in my head where, okay, if I'm going to make an impact, I think Long Beach is my shot. So we tried our best, and it went a lot better than we expected. We managed to qualify second and win the event. So that was a crazy start for me at the start of the year, and the whole team, fans back in Ireland, everything was just insane. We went on to round 2, and just throughout the year, we gained a lot of good results and some amazing battles with Frederick, who I've competed with back in Europe many years ago, and just to drive with all these great drivers and teams has been amazing. And before we know it, we're standing in Irwindale leading the championship, and managed to pull it off. So we managed to achieve my ultimate goal in life was to win a Formula Drift championship, and to do it last year was incredible. And we're back for a second year, huge target on our back, but we're looking forward to it. Shaping up to be a good year, and I think it's going to be an exciting one.
So for Frederick, you know, last year, probably about midway through the season, it seemed like the championship contenders were starting to coalesce. It was you and James. You guys had a pretty memorable battle in Montreal. I think if I remember correctly, you said something to the extent of, this was one of the best battles I've had in recent history, and you're really excited about that. What is it going to take to beat James this year? You've done it in competition. I'm sure you want to do it for a championship. Give us some thoughts on that.
Yeah, with someone like James, who's at such a high level, it's just super hard. There's no one thing that stands out as the reason that you win or lose. It's a combination of everything. And I had personally been waiting for the day that James would come back to FD, and I've been following him closely. I really have. You know, seeing everything he's done over the years. And I think that particular battle in Canada, we ended up not really making any big mistakes, whereas James had a slight flaw, and that was all it took. And gone are the days when you could drive at 80-90% and win a battle. Now you just got to go for it, and you have to be super aggressive. We saw that last year here in Long Beach, and I think it makes for a more exciting show. But it also makes it a lot harder as a driver. Every battle is your final battle, and it's all about faster car, better driver, being more consistent. And the one thing that I've done to try and prepare myself for this season is go back to my native country, Norway. I've done a lot of ice drifting, which seemingly is very different, but in reality is a lot of the same. And I've banged up a lot of doors all winter, and hopefully that is what it's going to take to do well this year.
For Matt, with respect to James, in 2012 we kind of had a little bit of a Daigo effect where he came in, shook things up, everybody made adjustments, and it kind of changed the face of the sport for the time being. Given the fact that you're building a new car, you know, and we kind of saw James have a little bit of a Daigo effect, even to a bigger extent, what goes into building a new vehicle to kind of take into account some of the things you learned from what he's doing on track with his vehicle?
I think the major thing that stood out to me about James's driving is his ability to stay close to somebody and make it look smooth. A lot of the chassis out there that are fast cars are really hard to drive. My S14 is a prime example of that. It was fast and I could get there, but it was hard to stay there and make it look proper. With the Corvette, I think any reaction that you do behind the wheel isn't as apparent because the chassis is much lower, much wider, much stiffer, and that's kind of what James's car was in comparison to my S14. So I think it's going to be a huge learning curve, and I can't even tell you like I built this way because of this, because until you're out there with the big boys throwing down and in battle, it's hard to say what adjustments are going to need to be made. But I definitely see some of the stuff that went into building James's car and how he drove it I was able to test that out and really feel that behind the wheel. So it's just going to come down to, can somebody stay there and can you make it look smooth? Because we know the sport is, at least in my opinion, heavily weighted on the follow, but you have to be able to lay down a solid lead run. And I think the Corvette can do that. It's a great car all on its own, but until we get into battle and start making adjustments, it's going to be hard for me to say.
And then James, for you, well, what is the barometer for success for you this year? I mean, 6 podiums, championship, you made a big mark. You sit back and say, I got a podium all 8 events, or what is success for you this year?
One of the things I love about drifting is you just never know until you go on track. Anything can happen, whether it's the car, your opponent, something strange or whatever. It's so hard to predict with drifting, but for me personally, I just want to approach it the same way I have been doing. Just take it one step at a time and just trying to do our best and see where it goes. So that's kind of the way I personally approach drifting since I started, and I don't really want to change my way of thinking. So for me, the cars are pretty much the same as last year, just refreshed. So there's nothing really new or challenging to get around. We updated some of the steering components, and they're pretty much as is. So we have a lot more information on the tracks, and everything was new for us last year, so we should be a bit more comfortable starting out the practice sessions. And Peter, my teammate, you could see his results there in Irwindale last year, and to see him and his level come so high towards the end of the year when he was feeling really comfortable, I think it's going to be an exciting year for the team and an exciting year for the sport in general.
This is for all 3 of you guys. We've moved the Canadian event to St. Louis, and it's a new track. Nobody's been on it, at least in a Formula Drift competition. Any thoughts on the preparation for that and what can be expected there as a brand new venue for everybody?
Yeah, so for me personally, another new track, so I'll try to approach it the same way as we have done with last year's new tracks. Personally, I like the event in Canada, but it was quite demanding and challenging on teams and cars between logistics and getting there, and the track itself at night was pretty tricky. So it's a new track, looking forward to checking it out. I haven't really seen or know what section they're using, but I think it's exciting for the sport and for the fans to see drifting go to a new area in the United States.
Oh yeah, same thing. I also really liked the Canada course. We had a really successful 3-year stint there. Great crowd, great everything. But I get that it's a North American championship, and hopefully there will be a 10-round world championship, and we could go back to Canada. That'd be a lot of fun. So make it happen.
Yeah, Jim.
I'm the same way. I love Montreal, everything about it. But I'm also a fan of new tracks. I think that it evens out the playing field, especially some of the people who have been here a long time. And I feel like I've even been here a long time, and there's guys who've been here longer than I have, obviously. So turn the page. I'm all for moving forward. I was even okay with not going back to Irwindale. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that it's back, but a new track is just different and refreshing, and I think it can give the fans a different outlook on what's going on, and it's a challenge for all of us. So I'm kind of open for it, down for whatever. I'm glad we're going back to Irwindale, but I'm also pumped that we're going to St. Louis.
Matt, related question for you, just with respect to team business and what you guys do in the off-season. This past off-season, you gave us a really close inside look to what goes on into building a car. We met your dad and a lot of your friends in constructing that. Give us a little insight behind what those pieces of content were, and if you're going to be continuing to do that.
So for me, being able to partner with Donut Media for the Frenemy series last year was really a gateway into something that I hope continues on. I had the idea of, obviously we're going to build the Corvette, and I want to document it, but with as much work as I put into building the car, there was no way that I was going to actually have the time to produce or edit any of those pieces of content. So when I brought it to Donut and they were willing to do it, and I was like, well, I'd like to do maybe a monthly or every couple of weeks, and they're like, no, let's do a weekly episode documenting the entire build of the car. I was like, the gears start turning in my head, like that's gonna be a lot of work. And it is so difficult to stop what you're doing and have to explain it to the camera, because I'm very much a person, like when I'm at the shop, I'm thrashing, I'm working, I'm getting stuff done, and I wanna move on to the next thing. But it was difficult for me to not be able to do that. I have to stop and explain, and set up the camera and weld, and I didn't get the shot, so let me redo it, and then having all my buddies who are helping me out, having them explain what they're doing, and they don't even want to do that, so I'm having to explain what they're doing, and being able to bring people in, like my dad who was willing to help, and my dad's not a big be on camera person, so I have to like, come on Dad, tell me what you're doing, what is this? And that just takes away time. So I think that it did extend the build process a little bit, but at the end of the day, I very much feel like it was worth it, because up until this point, I haven't seen anybody document an entire build of a Formula Drift car. There's been guys who like prep for this or show that, but this was literally the entire build of the car from the second that I pushed it in my shop all the way up until the very end. And another episode, actually the final episode, is going to drop today at around 11 o'clock, so be sure to look out for that on my social channels. And that'll be the last, little bit of getting the car ready, firing it up, putting the stickers on the car, dyno, testing, and look, now we're here at Long Beach. As far as what's going to be moving forward with them, I've already started talking to Donut about what's next. I know they have a lot of different shows like Science Garage and this and that, so they definitely want to insert me in a couple of pieces there because they feel like I can be decent on camera and I really actually enjoy it. And it's up to me to kind of figure out what's next. Like, am I going to do another build? Am I going to document what goes on in my shop on the daily basis? We're going to have Frenemies season 2 for what's going on track and during the Formula Drift events. But be sure to look out. I can't tell you that I have anything locked down 100% what's next, but I feel like people responded well to the build process of the Corvette. I really enjoyed it, so there's got to be something coming next.
Any other questions from the media?
Question for Matt. Earlier you mentioned when you chose a Corvette, there was a lot of research that went into it. Did your research lead you specifically to the Corvette, or did you narrow it down to like a short list of 3 or 4 cars and then pick the Corvette for a specific reason? Can you talk a little bit about that?
There was a couple of different cars that were, I guess, considered, some of which were BMW's E46 or something new. I really liked Chris Stapp's car, and I drove Chelsea Denofa's E46 back in the day, and I really liked that, and that kind of opened my door to BMWs and certain suspension designs and characteristics that I liked about those cars. And I think what really pushed me into the Corvette in general was Part Shop Max. So they're always interested in developing and doing something that's different on a different type of chassis that no one's ever done anything before. And when that kind of got brought up, it was around the same time that Daigo just had his Corvette finished, and I talked with Daigo a bunch about it and saw how much he enjoyed that chassis. And it kind of just checked all the boxes that we wanted, right? A certain wheelbase, a certain suspension design, a certain weight balance, the ability to have different aftermarket parts for it, and just a common love of a chassis. Like, it's very hard to say I don't like Corvettes being in America, right? And I'll be the first to tell you, I was not a huge Corvette fan until I got my Corvette, and now that I have it, I love it. So it was kind of a little bit of a risk because I maybe deep down didn't feel like it was the perfect chassis, but when you look at it on paper, it checked all the boxes. So we went for it, and I'm really glad that I did, because talking to people, and you pull up in your rig at a gas station and somebody asks, what do you have in there? And I used to say, oh, like a 20-year-old Nissan. They were like, cool bro, see you later. When you say you have a Corvette in there, everybody's interested about it. So I think between the social push, what's going on out on track, and being able to check all the boxes that we need, I feel like it was the right decision.
Any further questions? All right, if there's nothing further, we'll go ahead and end for this morning's session. Thank you to the media for coming out. Matt, Frederick, James, appreciate you guys, and let's go enjoy Media Day.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Media Day. We are a closed session here, but it is the opening day of the 2018 FD Black Magic Pro Championship Series. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We are in what's considered the cold pits. So all of the drivers here who were invited are lined up behind me, and we're going to go have a chat with them, see what's new, see how their off season was. Mechanics are still working on the car, so everything is live. Let's go have a chat with Rad Dan. Dan Burkett, get over here. How's things?
Hey guys.
Hi. How's everything with you?
Well, we're just getting started here. I'm in a good mood. Everything's working good, but we only had the 2 practice laps so far.
Okay.
But I'm excited about this season and improvements.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about maybe what those improvements.
For the car is still same power plant transmission that I was running last year. We have changed from stance coils. So I was running stance XR3 suspension. This year I'm running Reinhardt racing suspension. For the rest of everything else, it's basically similar to how it was last year. Little tweaks here and there, like sway bars, things like that. But we're just trying to kind of get comfortable with the same setup so that it all falls in place. If you change it, then you got to relearn what the changes you made.
Right, for sure. Do you feel like you had enough time during the off season?
No, not at all. And it's been 65 days straight with not really days off and not much sleep, but that's what it takes at the beginning. So I'm doing it, and then we're gonna learn quick like we did last year and then do good.
So you posted last year on your Facebook page. Oh, I remember. I'll tell you what you said. You said that it's been a lifelong dream, that you had been waiting to get to FD.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't say lifelong because FD's only been around for, let's say, 15 years. But so since the first time I came down, walked across that bridge over there, and I'm looking down the straightaway and I see all the FD cars, idling ready to go or doing their burnout, I'm like, I have to do that. And then that was in 2009, and it's been a long road, but I'm here. So it's like a dream come true to be here.
So rad. That's so cool. So in Pro 2, you got 5th place. You came into FD last year. What did you learn that you can apply to 2018?
Pro 1 is very consistent, really skilled drivers from all over the world, and they have a lot of budget and their cars are dialed. So then there's privateers like myself that are gonna chase that dream. I'm still doing it, and we make improvements, but it's hard, and I'm not stopping now. I'm not gonna give up. Just watch me go, and I'm gonna make improvements, and you'll see me get further and further and further.
Yes.
I need seat time.
Yes,
Seat time.
for sure. Well, how do you get that seat time?
A practice car. So I'm working on that. Let's hope in the next 6 weeks. I got a lot of support from sponsors, so I got the stuff. I just need the time to build that practice car because I build my own car. So got to do that, but it's coming soon.
Okay, I'm excited.
I'm
excited for that. So we are, I'd like to see your mullet done up too.
But there's a helmet, so this is the mullet, and then. But you gotta catch me before I put the helmet on, because helmet hair is not the same as you've seen it.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to get him at some point before he puts the helmet on, because that mullet, guys, is a work of art. Honestly, it is.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck. Yeah. I got too much stuff. Look, I'm trying to hide stuff.
Thanks,
yeah.
guys.
So, Dan, thank you so much. We are going to move over to Michael Essa, and Essa is right over here. Hi, great to see you.
You too. How
Thank
you.
you. So good. The off season was great. It was fun. Tried to stay productive.
Yeah.
I got too much stuff in my hands, so I'm just going to put that down because it's annoying. But how was it for you?
It was super busy. Not really with my car so much as customer cars. A lot of Porsche racing stuff. Okay. So I got some seat time, not drifting, but racing, but any seat time is good. So that was a lot of fun.
Can that translate?
It's, driving's a lot of a mental game, and just being at the limit and consistent helps a lot. So, yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, let's talk about what's changed for your car for 2018.
Yeah, so we built a new chassis last year. but we didn't run it. So we transferred a bunch of parts over to it, built some new parts. So it's a fresh chassis, and the car feels a lot stiffer, tidier, just all around. The steering inputs and everything just make a big difference when you're driving the car. Now, where the old car was pretty soft and worn out. So it feels really good. The car feels fast. I've got a new crew guy, Nate from Bink Industries. He designed some new trailing arms for the rear, and so far the car feels great. So.
Okay. Well, so for you, would you prefer a car that drives a little stiffer rather than softer?
Yeah, it allows you actually, so the chassis is stiffer and allows you to make the suspension work more rather than the flex of the chassis acting like suspension. So now we have shocks on each corner that we can actually feel, and we make the adjustment and it translates directly to speed on the track.
Okay, well, let's talk about speed on the track because you've had laps 1 and 2.
Yep.
Walk us through those.
First lap, usually out here on media day, it's super slick. First lap I went out and I said, wow, there's a lot of grip. And I went maybe 10% faster, and then I tapped the wall because I got off the grippy line. It would have been a great qualifying run if it was qualifying, but it was a little too much for media day. So, but yeah, I know where it is now.
Okay. Oh, good. And you had told me that you maybe got a little bit too comfortable on lap 2.
The car felt so good, and the grip on the track felt good, but I just didn't anticipate the offline grip being so low, and it got me. I should have known better.
Got it. Well, no damage to the car though, just cosmetic.
It's just cosmetic. I got to call my wrap guy and bodywork guys, but we'll make the car all shiny again for this weekend.
Perfect. Okay. Well, anything else that you would love for the fans to know?
The car feels great. I've got a new spotter now. Margaritas, he's a Greek drifting champ over there. He's on the team now. He's got a really good eye, so I feel like we were going to have a good season.
Great. Best of luck. Thank you so much. Give me a high five. This is unprofessional, but I'm grabbing my notebook and my stuff because I got stuff, guys. Thanks, Michael Essa. All right, let's go check out Alec Honadell. There he is, looking all sharp and fly in that white suit. Hi, Alec. Hi. So good to see you. Hi, cutie. Let me put my notebook on your table because I'm just carrying stuff. Guys, we're live. It's media day. We're getting out all the bugs.
Fun.
We're having a great time.
We're wishing you were out here right now.
For sure.
Friday. It's coming
Yeah,
soon.
I know. Friday. So, guys, qualifying is on Friday. Gates open at 10. So, if you want to come out and join us, please do. And then, of course, the main event, the big day on Saturday. But before we get there, man, talk about your off season and all the work that you have put in.
So we had a big off season, so we had to redo the whole car. It went down from the bare shell. As you can tell, we have it 100%. And now we're just fine tuning a few things. So Huddy Racing or Huddy Motorsports just took it out. We rebuilt everything, and now the car is feeling 110%, much better than it's ever felt before. And now it's just fine tuning those last little things, and we'll be good for this weekend.
Okay, so joining with Huddy Racing, and you guys are a one-car team now. So what was the decision behind that?
So as you can tell, we have a lot of big brands that came along with us, Permatex, O'Reilly's, AutoZone. We have a lot to announce shortly. So being a one-car team just kind of helped the whole team come together and just focus on myself and our car and getting it 100%. We know we can do this and finish really well in the championship. So we're just trying to focus on ourselves, just make it our year to shine, and then next year hopefully something bigger will come.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's great. Okay, and you were also working on reliability issues. So walk us through that.
So we took the car down from the bare shell. We redid all the wiring, all the plumbing, all the suspension. Everything's basically brand new. Everything was rebuilt, and we just tried to re-engineer a lot of stuff that we didn't really think about before. We put a lot of thought and effort in making this car as reliable as we can, and it's paying off. This car is truly the best car I've ever driven, and I'm excited to really showcase what we can do.
Wow, that is so fun. And you're a driver at Las Vegas at VOR, so is that extra seat time helping?
Yeah, so they have the drifting program up there. We get to give ride-alongs and have fun in the off-road trucks, and it never gets old. You're always in the desert, always jumping something. So it's always nice being in the right seat or the driver's seat because you always get to feel the truck, feel the car, see what other people are doing, whether they have great experience or no experience. You can still learn from them, and Either I want to do this or try this, or I don't want to do this and definitely don't want to try this,
Right.
And I work at Dream Racing as well as a driving instructor, so we have the GT Ferrari race cars, Lamborghini race cars, and that's a lot of fun. I tell you, I've never been in a GT car, but if you ever want to, come to Dream Racing, and I'll be an instructor for a day.
Oh, good. And how's Mr. Waffles?
Mr. Waffles and Miss Pepper, great. I wish they were here right now.
You have a new dog?
Yeah, Miss Peppers. She's a wiener dog, basset hound, and pit bull mix. She's like the lowrider pit bull. She's awesome. I love her.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen her on your Instagram, so I'll check that out. That's cool. Oh, fun. Anything else that you would love for the fans to know?
I just think it's going to be a great year. Every year with Formula Drift, it's growing, it's expanding, new things are coming, and as you can tell, the cars are improving. And I just want to give a huge thanks to Huddy Racing or Huddy Motorsports for really putting his heart and soul into this car and my team, and just really trying to make us elevate to the next level. I can't thank him enough.
Well, I'm so excited for you. So happy. New Year's, I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what Media Day feels like. Coming in here, it just feels like New Year's. The slate is wiped clean and everyone has that chance. And so, you know what? I'm just crossing my fingers for you. Best of luck.
You and I both.
Yeah,
Let's
all
get
right.
the season hours.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll see you soon. So we are gonna walk around here, and again, we're in the pits. So all of the haulers are out here, the cars are out here, and the drivers are on their break. They already went on lap 1 and lap 2. And this guy, Steph Papadakis, hi.
Hi.
How's things?
Good. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I was just explaining to everyone that it feels like the New Year, where it's just the slate is wiped clean and this is our New Year's coming in. So, wow, talk about a brand new slate for you guys with the new Corolla. So can you tell us how that all came about?
Sure. So we've had a long relationship with Toyota, Scion, one of their brands for years, and then Toyota we built the Corolla IM last year, and then they have a new car coming out in 2019, the Toyota Corolla hatchback, and they had some pre-production cars that they were able to get us one in December of last year, December of 2017, and they said, hey, do you think you can build this into a full competition drift car by Long Beach? And we thought we could, so we worked the whole winter. And the team did a great job, and we turned the front-wheel drive Corolla hatchback into a full rear-wheel drive 1,000 horsepower drift machine.
Wow. So you guys just love challenging yourself, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge because it's a whole new chassis. Like the suspension and everything is different in this new Corolla. So we had to build suspension from the ground up all new, but we were able to take the engine and transmission and drivetrain. It's very similar to last year's. So we didn't have to redevelop any of that. That's really similar to 2017 spec. But the chassis and the cage and all of that is all new for 2018.
Okay. Well, again, guys, we're live, so there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of moving parts, so I just wanted to move stuff right out of the way. You're welcome. Frederick was saying that he loves this car. So what did you guys make adjustments from the IM to the Corolla year to this one?
Yep. So the IM last year was the first hatchback that we built. It was 4-door, pretty unique vehicle. It ended up being about 150 pounds over the minimum weight that we could run. So with the 275 size tire, we're allowed to be 2,900 pounds with driver. That car was 3,050. In the short time we had it, we weren't able to really get a bunch of weight off of it. So from the start, when we built this new Corolla, we said, okay, we want to try to make it as light as possible. So it's about 100 pounds lighter than last year's car. So that's going to help performance. And every year, every time we build a new car, every year, we try to update the suspension and learn what we can from the previous year and apply it to next year. So specifically, we worked on suspension design, so the rear suspension geometry is updated from last year. The steering is slightly updated, like the caster angles and stuff that we have to build all new components for. And we did a lot of work to try to get all of the weight lower in the car, lower center of gravity. So the radiators mounted lower, the nitrous bottles mounted lower. A lot of individual components like that are mounted lower. So it's a better driver feel.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. So laps 1 and 2, how did they go?
Yeah, so the first lap, it just go out there and he just kind of warms everything up. And then the next lap, he went out there and drifted it. So we had a really mild tune-up in it, 24 pounds of boost, no nitrous. So now we're turning everything on for the next session. It'll be 28 pounds of boost, the 150 shot of NOS, and he'll go out there and start stepping up the performance.
Man, what's your excitement level at?
My thought process is all of the potential things that could go wrong, and then trying to make sure that those don't, right? Because hopefully you get through the day comfortably, and we'll have a nice list of. So today, today is basically giving everybody rides, give the media rides, shake the car down a little bit, and we're going to end up after today with a long list. Things that we would need to do before the next day the car hits the track, and things that we want to do. And then the next couple days, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll work on those things, and then we'll come back Friday ready for the event weekend.
Nice. So you're going to have a car hit list, basically, and a driver hit list of how to get adjusted and ready for the track.
Yeah, and that's how the whole team is designed, right? So I'll sort of manage everything, and then we'll have Sean and the other guys and Mario work on technical components on the vehicle to make sure those are continuing to progress. And then Frederick will have some video. We'll be taping him all day today on the track. And then he'll review those videos and then see what he needs to work on as far as his driving. And we'll also tape other drivers as well. So he'll say, ooh, I like, James Dean's doing a great job in this turn, or Essa's doing a great job in this turn, and then sort of pick those, what he feels is he can improve on, and then apply that to his driving.
I think that makes perfect sense. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate talking to you, and we'll be checking in with you guys throughout Friday and Saturday. Definitely Saturday, because that's when we go live.
Yep.
That's what we do. Thank you so much. Well, guys, we are going to take a short break, but we are still going to be coming back. We have more drivers to talk to. Forrest Wang's back, guys. We're going to check out Matt Field, check out that gorgeous Corvette, and find out who else is down the line. So don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Well, gang, I promised more drivers, and I'm supposed to not have favorites, but I do. Here's one of them. Jonathan Castro, it is so good to have you back. How's your off season?
Good, good. Well, welcome to the 2018, the 15 season, right? This is something like that.
I don't know. What year is it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, something like that. Yeah, we're here. Super, super happy. The off season was more spending time with the family, just like submerging in that aspect, having a lot of family time, quality time, spending a lot of time with the little one, which is being so I'm so blessed to have that little one. My wife just taking care of everything. It's just being more in that time. Of course, driving a little bit, more road racing, to be honest. It just be more going fast and faster. A little bit drifting, of course, here and there. But yeah, it's being very good. Just getting the car back together.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about the car. How's everything shaking out?
Yeah, of course. The 2017 season was a very good season. We won the Hard Charger driver, which is amazing for us. But we have to take notes every round what we needed to make it better and to improve. So we found out, for example, the steering was something that we were lacking. The handle is amazing, but we're having some issues with that. And we're trying to take the off-season to take notes and make it happen. It was a lot of changes. It takes time to make it happen. The guys did it on time. Didn't have the time to test it, but Frederick did me the favor, and he jumped in the car and drove it, and he called me back and said, "Hey, dude, this car's just awesome, man." So we're very good friends, and he gave me the feedback. It was amazing. Actually, I just jumped into the car for the first time this season, and it feels exactly how we predicted it was gonna be.
Okay. So what's that anxiety or maybe excitement like, knowing that the first time you're jumping in is at the track?
It is, and of course there's questions. Of course, it's excited, but you can be a little bit scared because of the walls and this and that. But at the same time, I trust a lot with the team. I trust what they're doing. I trust myself. I believe in myself. And the first lap was nailed it, all good. Everything feels amazing, and we knew exactly what it's gonna be doing. And power was the same as the last 2 rounds. We're planning to do more stuff ahead. I'm gonna let you know later.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the wrap's gonna be the same design. Looks like everyone liking it, so we're just gonna keep it while changing it. A few sponsors are just jumping on board, Sparco and our performance just jump into this season, help out a lot. So yeah, Toyota also been upgrading a few things here and there, helping us with the program to just make it better. That's the way to put it on.
Good. Okay. And mentally, feeling great?
Yeah, now when you're here is when everything start calm down. Before you know, it's just all over. Sponsors and make programs together. They put everything together. Schedule. I live in the art, so I have to schedule a lot of things, plan a lot. I have to make a lot of planning. But honestly, just super happy to be here. And now my mind is in the fun mode.
Good. I love that. Good. That is super exciting. Well, we are going to keep moving on so we can get our drivers in, but it was great to catch up with you. Thank you so much. So, come yell for this guy. Jonathan Castro. So good to see you. I will see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay. Bye, bud. So, parked right next to him, some of you have been waiting for him to make his return to FD, and he does it. Forrest Wang, guys, is back for the 2018 series, and we are so happy to have you back. So that year break, was it good? Was it a great refresher for you?
Yeah, definitely. Good refresh. Get to go out, go four-wheeling with friends, and yeah, but I miss the competition, the high level of driving. Driving with the best drivers in the world. It's something that you don't get just going out and hitting your local, pro-am and fun events. I did demos and stuff. We got to travel a little bit, do Hyperfest and some other events. But like I said, you miss the high level of driving, and there's something about like being out here and competing with these drivers that just pushes you. And we all want to drive at our best, so this pushes you to drive harder.
Excellent. Well, we're really glad again to have you back. And coming into Long Beach, we know that you're really familiar with this track. So do you have expectations that you've set for yourself?
Not really expectations. We just want to come out, give it our best shot, and see how we do. Going to drag the walls and throw it out there, but I'm not really trying to set real high expectations for ourselves. We just want to come out, good attitude, and have fun, and trying to stray a little bit from the old style of huge angle and huge smoke. I mean, obviously we want to still have big angle and big smoke, but trying to get the car faster. We're on Achilles tires this year. Great tires. I'm really happy with these, so I think it'll be a good change for us.
Okay, well, let's talk about maybe some more changes. Anything that you've done to the car that's new for this season?
We've actually gone down in power, so we got a smaller Garrett turbocharger, less power, but it responds better. So we're trying to get the response up, and I think that'll help with drivability, being able to keep better proximity on chase runs. So it's something that we've geared the car towards, and I think it'll help with drivability.
Nice. And a new engine.
Yeah. New engine. It's all BC internal still. Universal did all the machine work. It seems really nice, tight. It's not throwing a lot of oil or anything, no blow by. So really happy with that.
Okay. Well, do you want to take the mic and just give us a little tour around your car?
Okay. Visually, we got our 3-piece US wheels here. They're SSR Vienna Courage, and one thing about coming back, we're trying to bring the style back, and we got the deep dish chrome. It's a little away from the racing style of wheel, but they look awesome, so you can't complain. And new suspension this year, we're on BC racing coilovers. They've been doing really well for us. New ECU and wiring is all Haltech engine management systems, and JDM Sport on board. NRG's on board this year. We're doing a custom line of steering wheels. They'll be out shortly. We're also using their FIA seats and harnesses, which I really like. Over here, like I said, BC engine, universal machine built. We got Kyle tuned it, working the dyno and laptop. Vapetasia, title sponsor, they're coming on board this year, giving us the support that we needed to make this whole season happen. Obviously, WiseFab still on board. We got a new V2 WiseFab kit on here with the rack relocation, so we don't need to use the steering rack spacers now. That seems to be a lot easier on the racks, so we're excited about that kit. Steering feels awesome. Yeah, other than that, I mean, still the same S15 that we love so much, and you know, I'm really comfortable in this car, so we're looking to get out there and graze the walls.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the tour. Totally appreciate it. We are going to move on over to Matt Field, but Forrest, thank you so much for your time. See you soon. Well, that was cool. Forrest gets to give us a tour of his brand new, or his car. But speaking of new, hi, Matt Field.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
So, 2013 Corvette.
Yep.
You're so excited.
Unbelievably excited. It was time. That S14 was tired. She's had better days. And 7 years later, it was time to, you know, let her take a little nap.
Well, how did you decide on the Corvette?
It was a lot of research of what we think is going to be good out of a chassis, the type of suspension that it has, the wheelbase that it has, the balance, and also just it's going to be something that's going to be good for the partners. And honestly, being an American driver, drifting in the United States right now, picking an American car just kind of made some sense. And so far, our partners are really pumped on it. And I'm really pumped on it, but there's a whole lot to learn and a lot of setup that needs to happen. And, you know, we're here for the long haul, and hopefully we can get the chassis dialed in and get it up to the right level.
Right. So I heard you on Maximum Driftcast, you were talking about how you barely grazed a cone and you could feel it in the S14, and then with the Corvette, you know, you have some learning to do. So is that more exciting for you or more nerve-wracking?
I would say definitely more nerve-wracking. If it was at a course not like Long Beach where there's walls everywhere, you can kind of step into it, but this track you have to kind of take it super easy or go all out. There's no like middle ground stepping into it. You just have to make it around the track or throw it on the wall. So with this car, like I was saying, I just don't have the feeling quite yet. The S14, I could feel it in my fingertips, exactly where I was, exactly where the rear of the car was. I don't have that feeling yet, and it's probably going to take a couple of times grazing the wall or knocking something over or getting too close to something, but I hope that I get there. Eventually, I'm sure I will. But it's just about seat time in the car. I've driven the car 3 whole days before this, which is not a ton of testing, but it's not a little bit. At the last day, I felt really confident. We had a solid setup under it, and even just going out for the first couple laps, I felt pretty good, but I'm definitely not at home yet. The S14, I was at home every time I drove it. We're not quite there.
I really appreciate your honesty about that. I think that's really incredible. That's part of the reason why I love talking to you.
Thank you.
Do you want to give us a tour around your car?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'll give you the mic. Okay. There you go. Have at it.
So obviously we went and stuck with the Falcon livery, which is great because this is the first and only Falcon tire Corvette, which is really exciting for me. It's cool to be able to bring something like that to them. Rotiform wheels, continuing on with them, and fortunately they put up with all of my uneasy decision making. Oh, I need this size. No, never mind. I changed it to this size and this size. So fortunately, we have a lot of partners that understand it's a new car that needs to be built. All the body panels are from HGK, so they're all carbon Kevlar body panels, which helped a lot in the weight of this car because I did choose to stick with the steel chassis instead of a Z06 aluminum chassis, just for ease of maintenance. And if I do smash into the wall, it should be a little bit easier to work on. And inside here, got our fancy little door pulls, since the little electric button doesn't work. Again, more carbon fiber. All the stuff in the inside's all carbon fiber from HGK. Tilt and floor mounts are brand new Cobra seats that are fit to me because I'm a pretty slim guy, and before I was a little bit loose in the seats, so they did some custom padding for me. Carbon back seats, even stuff like Falcon scallops on the back of the seats. If you look up in the roof, you can see, I don't know if you can get in there, but you can even see my painter guy like went a little bit crazy, put my logo, scallops, just all these little details that go into the car. Part Shop Max handbrake. AIM is handling all of our data acquisition, the digital dash, all of that stuff. And this is great for me too because I was able to put everything where I wanted it. So the seat where I want it, the pedals where I want it, the steering wheel, the shifter, all that stuff. The S14 being built across 7 years, originally being built in my parents' backyard, I kind of had a lot of sacrifices to make. This was here, so it's just got to be there. This can only be so far or so close to how I like it, but this car is like exactly how I wanted to build it, I did. And in the back, more carbon fiber and Kevlar. It's really cool that HGK makes like the inner fenders to help keep the rubber out of the radiator and keep it a little bit cleaner back here because drift cars obviously just make a ton of rubber buildup and it gets everywhere. We're running nitrous. This is the fan shroud here with our new Spall brushless motor fans that are just absolutely insane. Oh, sure, thank you. This is the air run out, so the radiator gets fresh air off the bottom of the car, sucks it through the fan shroud, and then pushes all the hot air out here so that it doesn't get built up or create a low pressure zone or anything like that. Carbon firewall, carbon plates down there, all of our Aeromotive fuel pumps and everything else. And if you look down on the bottom, you can see all of our brand new Part Shop Max suspension. It was pretty cool that they took it upon themselves to build everything that we needed for this car. Every suspension arm, sway bars, knuckles, everything that I could possibly ask for them to build, they came through. And before this, there wasn't a whole lot of time because we didn't know exactly what we wanted, and they were still able to come through with us and get a suspension that we could get tested, make changes, and improve upon before we even show up here at Long Beach. I guess we should go to the engine bay then. I'll need you to hold that for a second.
Yep, I'll follow you.
One thing I don't like about this car, a Corvette, the hood normally hinges this way, and that was just not going to fly, so we have to have 4 hood pins, so it's kind of annoying to take off the hood. Could you push that one for me? Yeah. So we'll have to work on that later. We got some hood pin design to do. So this is a CBM Motorsports built 427 LS based engine. There's not a lot of GM parts left on it, seeing as it's an aftermarket block, aftermarket heads, aftermarket intake manifold. All the internals of the engine are all aftermarket as well. But it's being fed by a Vortec YSI supercharger with a billet impeller wheel. All this bracketry and everything is made for a Corvette. So that was something that was really huge in deciding to build this car, is that there is aftermarket support for it. So this is an ANA supercharger bracket for a C6 Corvette, and you can see it like it fits proper. This stuff is meant to be there, not like the S14 that was, the supercharger bracket was for a 2010 that we made fit and had to cut stuff, and it was, just a little bit of a science experiment. This is some more proven parts. This is the first year that I've run a dry sump. Learning about that, the correct oil level, how you're supposed to check it, everything else. We went back to a fast 102 intake manifold. Because it's plastic, it's lighter, it deals with the heat a little bit better, and the biggest thing, I didn't have to cut the hood. I'm so excited about that. Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the tour around your car. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you out on the track.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to... Right, so we're going to take a quick break. We are going to find Vaughn Gittin Jr. and hopefully Chelsea Genofa, chat with them. So don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a short commercial break. Hi guys, welcome back. So as we promised, Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Hello, dear.
Hi, so good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you very much. Well, 2018, man, we're here.
Pumped.
Yeah.
Am I taking this from you?
No. Do you want to take it from me?
I saw Matt holding it, so I didn't know.
Oh, I had him.
Supposed to hold it. You're going to give me all the control or not? I say that's a dangerous thing.
I'd never get the mic back. You and Chelsea here. We're kind of in like Mustang Row right
We
here.
are.
The
Just
Brostangs.
The Brostangs are hanging out. Obviously, we have brand new 2018 Mustangs this year. It's been a very fun off season. The guys have been working their butts off though, getting Chelsea's car changed over to a 2018 spec, and my car is all brand new chassis build. We actually sent my last year Formula Drift car to Fangadan over in D1 New Zealand, so he's been competing with that and killing it in that. So, but yeah, brand new 2018 Mustang this year for us, and a few other changes. We did some light weighting. We dropped a little bit over 100 pounds on the cars, and then a little bit more, some adjustments to the motor with Roush Yates. We changed over to a VP C85 racing fuel, which is ethanol-based fuel, so a little bit cooler engine temps and a little bit more power out of it. You can get a little bit more aggressive with the tune with it and things like that. And then we actually moved our power curve up a little bit. We had a lot of power mid, and then up top it started falling off a bit, so we kind of shifted that a little bit. Roush Yates works a bit of magic with that. And other than that, though, these new Mustangs and the suspension geometry is all really great for what we do. So the guys didn't have to get too nuts, but just a lot of preparation and strategizing, and looking at things that we did right last year and looking at things that we did wrong, and really trying to get back to where we need to be. I think we end up 4th last year, I think. But I'm looking for another championship for sure.
Nice. I love that. So lighter and more powerful, is that going to help you or hinder you on this Long Beach course?
Yeah, weight is always a thing, right? Obviously in drifting, we have a weight to tire rule. So we have a strategy of the size tire we want to run for our cars. So we keep our weight in that box. But less weight is always better. So if we can be on the lower end of the tire that we want to run, that obviously will be better, right? If you have a 3,000 pound car versus a 3,200 pound car on the same tire, there's obviously a benefit for the lighter weight vehicle there, as long as you have your weight in the places that you want it. So for us, we got a bit heavy last year. So we did some things with light weighting, very similar to like what you're seeing Ford do in, the production vehicles. We're doing similar technology, right? Carbon fiber, lighter metals and alloys and things like that, and just kind of transitioning that into what we're doing on our end as well. So, our panels are a little bit thinner, and just a little bit here and there makes a big difference. And, 100 pounds is massive. Like, we're doing media day today, and they'll put a passenger in. The car is completely different with a passenger. So, the lightweight is going to be great, and the power. We're still working through getting the tune exactly to what Chelsea and I want. We're both a little bit different as far as the engine and power delivery, but we're right there. Like I'm very excited about this year. In fact, I can't remember not that I'm not excited about drifting and Formula Drift, but this year I'm just super pumped. Like I feel like, the end of the year, seeing Chelsea come into his own in the Mustang, and us really getting these chassis dialed and working well. So it should be fun. I think the goal is for everyone to do their job and work hard and communicate as a team, and we should be in good shape.
Yeah, I think so. And there's someone standing right there. So if you will come on in here, Chelsea, Denofa, Vaughn, don't go too far. So Chelsea, 2018, so excited to be here. You told me that you haven't made too many adjustments to your car because you're still getting used to it.
Yeah, so it takes a little bit of time to get used to this car. It's so adjustable though that really we don't have to make that many changes. Like in the off season, we already have the changes available to us, so it's nice. And me being able to come here now with a car that I've actually driven before and got some laps in, and now a whole season is like, even just our few laps we did out there in media day today, I was like, this is way better than last year already.
Sweet. So it felt like home.
Yeah, exactly. I went into the first turn. I wasn't like questioning what was going to happen, so it's good.
Yeah, contrary to last year where you're like, what do I do? Yeah, because we only had one test day prior to last year before he had to throw it at that wall here in Long Beach, and those things are not forgiving. So, but he manned it. he found it once and then he didn't find it again.
Yeah, it's been good.
That's cool. Are you guys sharing data?
Yeah, always. I mean, each run that I do is a lap for him, and for him, and vice versa. So it's always solid to share all the data we can.
Yeah, it's become a really cool team dynamic. I mean, Chelsea's brought a lot to the program that wasn't really expected or assumed. He's a bit more picky than me.
In what way?
I tend to just drive through some things and figure it out. Where he's pretty he assesses everything very detailed, and it's a good balance because he'll find some things, and then when he says, I'm like, oh yeah, I do kind of notice that, but it doesn't really faze me. I think so. Sometimes it will maybe help us find something, or sometimes maybe help him to just kind of, well, Vaughn's driving through it, I can drive through it, or vice versa.
For sure.
And but I think just in general, just the whole, his energy and just in general, we vibe really well, and I think we're making a really rad team and having a lot of fun with it. That to me is what's most important at this point, is just having a good time, enjoying what we do. I mean, obviously we're competitive and we want results, but I think for me, highlight of last year was really us battling. I just want to do that every round.
Yeah.
We're just going to blame Matt Field for that. We just had something fall off the camera. That's why we dropped out. But we're back. We are live. And again, guys, live. Things happen. Weird things happen. Things happen. It's media day. So last year you guys were sharing cheeseburgers.
Chicken sandwich. Chicken sandwich.
Yeah, it was Chick-fil-A, Monster Energies, and cars.
Cars. I know. It's so exciting. Anything that you guys want the fans to know?
Well, I mean, I'm going for a championship this year. I think that it's possible. I think we both are, and that's I'd like everybody to know that, because I'm not giving up. We're going all the way this year.
There you go. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I think we're both here for that, right? I think everybody in this field is here with the goal to win a championship. I think we honestly have the best chance that we've had, I think, for me personally, since 2010, and I'd like to think Chelsea ever in his career. So, but yeah, I think in general, tell the fans, everyone that's at FD, stop by, say what's up. We come here to obviously compete, but hang out. We're car dudes, and we just want to hang out and have a good time. We have the Fun Haver Tour this year, which is something that we've teamed up with Ford on. So on the other side of our pit is the Fun Haver Tour. We've got Forza Sims that we're going to be doing races all weekend for people to set times. We've got a spin to win, and just a cool hangout lounge for people to come chill. And when Chelsea and I aren't doing the things we have to be doing, we'll be over there just hanging out. And we just wanted to create something cool, and so we were able to make that happen. And just looking forward to the year. I mean, Long Beach is here. I can't believe it's already April, but I'm just pumped to get out there. And media day is a blast. Let's just get seat time and start getting some of the visuals and the brain locked in, and we'll see where it goes.
Love it. And just as a personal side note, when he invites you guys to come to the pits, he actually means it. Something that's super rad about both of these guys is that I always see you guys in the pits with fans, talking to the fans, making eye contact, high-fiving. You don't have to be afraid of them. You get two of the raddest guys, full knowledge, really, really nice. I just wanted to throw that in there. So I really appreciate you guys, what you do for the fans. So when Vaughn invites you, take it.
Stop by for sure. We'll see you over there.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. We're gonna move over to JTP in just a few minutes, but we are gonna take a really quick commercial break. So you guys don't go anywhere because we are gonna chat with JTP, who's right next door. So just a real quick break. Gang, I promised JTP and I delivered. We had to have a chat with you. How's everything going?
It's going really well. Good. Yeah, the first couple of sessions were really solid. Car's feeling great. Not too many changes from last year. Obviously, the wrap is a big change. I'm super excited to be back on teal and blue. It's been a couple years off, but we're back on it, so it feels good.
That's so cool. And so you said not many changes, but what were some of them that you made?
Basically just aesthetics. You know, the car started working really good at the end of the year, so we stuck with what was working, did some testing in the off season, and you know, I think this is like my most favorite track.
Yay! I thought Irwindale was.
No, this one is for sure. I mean, it's the only track that we get to drift legally on streets. So, you know, I've definitely done some drifting in Long Beach, but this is a place where you can legitimately drift. So it's pretty cool to have this type of backdrop and just this atmosphere in such a iconic race and being a part of that. You know, this coming weekend, and then obviously the following weekend during the Grand Prix. But yeah, this is by far my most favorite track.
Okay. All right.
The only time it's bad is when it rains.
I know.
it's tough.
But it's not going to rain.
We hope not.
Universe, please don't rain.
We hope not. It's, it's like ping pong through here with all of the walls, and obviously these cars are not really set up to drift in the rain. You have a 1,000 horsepower car that's set up to get sideways on dry pavement, and when you put that in a situation where it's, a 100 horsepower car feels like a 1,000 horsepower car in the rain. But then when you have a 1,000 horsepower car, it feels like a 1,000,000 horsepower car in the rain, and it's just wild. Even though we have tons of steering angle and everything, it's just not really set up. And trying to dial these cars back is crazy. So we're hoping and praying that it doesn't rain, so we can put on a good show for everybody here in Long Beach.
Yeah. Can you make a call about that?
What do you mean?
Call someone.
Yeah, let me call God. God, please.
Oh man. Well, I am super happy to be chatting with you. We are going to try to get through and get more drivers. JTP, thank you so much. Best of luck on Friday and Saturday. And so we are still moving, and we are going through what is called the cold pits, and behind me, Di. Hi, Di. Hi, how are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How's
Good to see
everything?
you.
Nice to see you too.
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so give us a scoop.
Well, as you see, it's pretty much same as last year. Same car, pretty much the same setup. But the one thing we did was we stripped the car down and start over everything. But setup-wise, it's pretty much the same. We just basically clean it up and make certain stuff more reliable. Because car was running pretty good, and I got second place in the last round, so didn't want to change too much about it, but make it more fresh and nice.
How did you make it more reliable?
One of the issue we had was the power steering gets too sometimes didn't work well, sometimes gets stiff. So we basically modify a little bit and try not to get heated too much. So now we can keep running and never had an issue. And a little cooling and make it a little bit lighter weight-wise, stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and just by the way, your hair looks amazing.
Really? I need a haircut.
Yeah, you get like this amazing bouffant going on.
It's been a little too crazy, so I'm gonna cut hair before the weekend, make it more, nice.
Well, no, I'm giving you a hard time, but it does look good. And you just had your second son in February.
Oh, wow, you know about it. Thank you, yeah.
I do my research.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just got a second son a couple months ago.
So are you sleeping?
Luckily, yes. I've been, leave everything up to my wife, thanks to her, and I've been doing whatever things I need to do. Yeah. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so cool. Dad, driver, so busy. And how was your off season?
It was good. Yeah. The kid was the biggest thing. But doing a lot of different driving and and then prepping this car and the sponsors and all that stuff. So same as usual.
Good. What was the different driving you were doing?
I do coaching. I do instructing at the Poster Experience Center, stuff like that. But I haven't been driving the drift car for a long time. Just when the car was finished last 3 weeks, been running here and there, and now getting ready for the season basically. Yeah.
We're here, and it's 2018, and
Crazy.
we can't wait. I know. Yay! Yay! Well, we have a few minutes left, so we're going to move over to Ken. He's next to you. Dai, thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much. So Ken Gushi is right next to Dai Yoshihara. Hi, Ken.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So, Ken Gushi, 2018, we're here.
Yeah.
We have been waiting.
I'll be honest with you, that off season went by so quick. It was a blink of an eye. I just feel like I was just at Irwindale the other week, putting myself into the wall. But hey, that's a thing of the past. We're here now, 2018, 15th season of Formula Drift. I can't be any more excited than I am now.
I know. So exciting. And the weather is great right now. It's a little overcast, but sunny, and it's going to stay that way. It is not going to rain. That's all we have to say about that.
See my fingers, it's not going to rain because the rain on this track is pretty bad. It's pretty slippery, but we're on a new tire this year. We went from Nexans to Falcon tire, and I really think these tires do well in the rain. So dry or rain, doesn't matter, bring it on. I'm really excited.
So how confident are you coming into Long Beach?
Well, I'll tell you what, during the whole off season, I didn't do much real driving, but I bought myself a simulator. And in that simulator, we have tracks like Long Beach, Orlando, Irwindale. So I spent a lot of time virtually driving on the sim. And I think for our first lap out this morning here at Media Day, I felt as if I've been doing it all season or all off season. So yeah, I think it's helping me gain back my confidence going into a new season.
Well, we have just a few minutes left of this session before you guys get back out on the track. So we are going to move over next door to Chris Forsberg. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this weekend. Thank you, Ken. A lot of movement again in the pits, and we'll just take a second. And Frank, if you can show the guys what's going on here. Chris just looking at his car, checking everything out. And they have been on the track for 2 laps, 1 and 2. Hi, Chris Forsberg.
How are you?
Hi, great.
Nice
How
to
are
see
you?
you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, here we are again.
I know. I love it. I'm so excited. I know. It's a clean slate. It is fresh. Everyone has the same chance, and the expectations and the nerves and everything. It's just everything is so high. I know. It's all so new. Well, something that was new that you told me that you have more of a hands-on approach. You are involved from everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you and Dylan and your entire team worked so hard to get the car here. So walk everyone through what you've done.
Sure. So last year was the first time. Would you like me to hold this? Or I was going to say, I don't want to have you doing all this work. I'll help you out here, right? But yeah, last year was one of the first times I've 100% was hands off on the car. Helping here and there, prepping and things like that. But the build of the car was out of my hands, and so we ran into some issues, as people know. So we were struggling a little bit at the beginning of the year. But fast forward to today, we have the entire race program back in Southern California. I was working on this car full time the entire off season. I had Dylan Hughes, my right hand man, helping me on the daily full time as well. Great fabricator, lays down those perfect welds, and the entire design and layout of the car is something that I planned out and worked out on my own. I've been building cars for almost 20 years now, so it just felt like it was just something I can totally handle myself. And I enjoy working on cars. I enjoy the build, the process, and as you can see, the entire engine bay is completely different than last year. We are still running the twin turbo V6 package that we ran last year, but this year is just a few visual changes. We are working now with Fast Intentions. We're running a race version of their twin turbo kit that I actually run on my demo car, and so we're using their manifolds, their exhaust, their intercooler, but everything is just a little bigger and custom to make it more friendly for the race car and less from their street car kit. And then onto the engine program, we're still running the VQ engine with all of our build partners, Brian Crowder, JE Pistons, Jim Wolf, and SuperTech. But AMS Performance, the leaders in the GTR family, are now taking over the VQ and adding to their Alpha program. So now we have the first VQ Alpha from AMS, which is utilizing a lot of great parts, like I said, from our partners, and also the RJM manufacturing block, which is one of the only closed deck blocks for the VQ, which is where we had a lot of our issues last year with the head gaskets and getting everything to seal. You want a nice closed deck block. It now makes it mimic the VR engine from the Nissan GTR. And so just everything front to back, top to bottom, we cut out, tore out, and rebuild. Dylan and I back at the shop. We got some nice bracing up front. Everything is just clean, easy to access, and all fresh and new for the 2018 season.
Wow. Wowie.
Sorry.
Don't ever be sorry. No, that is amazing, and thank you so much for taking us, through a tour of your car. Laps 1 and 2, feeling good, confident?
Yeah, no, it felt great. We got out there. We were first car out on track, which is always a good feeling, and we went out, just took it nice and easy because it's a little dusty, and we want to make sure we don't, have a wall incident, as we like to call it. But yeah, took it easy first session, and then just started to lay it down, and we're getting some good power, good response, and we now have the balance and the drivability out of the car that we were looking for last year. Going from the nitrous-fed V8 engine to a twin-turbo V6 is going to deliver the power very differently. But with fantastic guys like John Reed, who handles our tuning, and working with Garrett and these other companies to give us the feedback and the draw of the the power that we want to roll in not just overspeed the tires. We're now where we want to be with that package. So just having great control of the car through the course, and we're just only dialing it in from here.
And no anti-lag system.
Nope, no anti-lag system this year. We're actually utilizing the nitrous. Just a lot less. So a little less flames, which I know the fans really like that. That part was cool. But yeah, just to eliminate, possible failures and a lot of weight and complexity up front.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck. We have a short amount of time, so we're just trying to. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But best of luck, and I'll check in with you soon. Okay. So you can see James Dean and Peter Vinchek's cars here. But we are gonna go to Odie Bakchis. Hi, Odie.
What's up, Lorette?
How are
Long
you?
time no see.
I know. So good to see you. I see Audrina over there with her little princess crown.
She's told to sit there and watch me.
Oh,
from there.
good. Well, she can come over and hang out if she wants. I don't know what she's saying.
Dad, the tire's hot.
Oh my goodness. Well,
All right, come over here.
she's saying, Dad, the tires are hot. She's sitting on the tires. So let's bring her over. Amy, she's fine.
She's fine.
It's okay. It's media day. Again, it's live. Amy is Odie's wife and spotter, and she is brilliant and amazing. And well, all right, we are bringing Audrina over right now. And so let's talk car things, though. Let's talk about your car.
Yeah, so it's fairly similar to last season because I'm running the same engine, similar transmission, although we changed it. But we just changed the appearance of the car a little bit and did some off-season testing to try to make it, better and more competitive. But I'm really happy to be in a car that I felt comfortable in last season, and just working with a lot of the same sponsors and just feeling comfortable. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, for sure. And especially to have that comfort level and that confidence, that must do a lot for you.
Yeah, it's always exciting to build something new and fun, but at the end of the day, it's really comfortable to be in the same car you ran last season. So we'll see how it goes. We did make some changes, so I'll kind of feel it out here at Media Day, and hopefully we made it better.
And so your missus, Amy, she is also your spotter, and you have a great group of guys that you've worked with, and you told me that they know you really well and they know your neuroses, basically, so that helps you.
Yeah, I like any driver, there's like weird things about us, that we're like, hey, we have to have the gloves over here, or the nitrous bottle needs to be turned on right before I leave, not sooner because the pressure will drop or whatever. So over the years, they've kind of learned those things, and it's nice working with, the same group of guys that know those things.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things about you is that there's some drivers that maybe are a little bit louder than you. You're a little bit soft-spoken, but you have been quietly charging up. So continuing that, do you have expectations for this year?
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. I don't maybe vocalize it, but I'm trying to do better every single season. And, it was 5th, 4th, 3rd. I'd like to only move up in rankings, and there's a lot of pressure I put on myself to do that.
Well, you know how to drive, so don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Thanks, Lorette. Yeah.
All right, guys. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and don't go anywhere because we still have a few drivers left to chat with. So again, here is a quick break. Hi, Audrina. I promised more drivers, and I promised this adorable smile. So happy to see you, Peter.
Finally, season is about to start again, so we are very happy, very full of energy, let's say, for a whole new season. Yep. Still try to, remember the good memories also. So yeah, looking good.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, is this your good luck shirt? Because obviously he took the win in 2017 at Irwindale. So is this your good luck shirt?
I hope. We will see. I hope that we'll go smoothly through the media day. Now we are try, at least in my case, to feel the car a bit better. We have some small tweaks, some new parts in it. Okay. So I hope that we'll go through this day smoothly, and we'll be only ready in a better shape for an actual round.
Right. So what new parts are in your car?
There are some small tweaks in the suspension, some new parts. Also, we have a bit new handbrake, some small little things, new brakes. But I hope it's only work better, and it gives me a chance to only show better on the track.
Okay. So with those new parts, the new
I didn't manage to actually practice too much as I would like. Probably it's never enough, but yeah, we are getting there. We are closer and closer. We still have like the one training scheduled for tomorrow, so we will see. Hopefully, we will go smoothly with everything, and it looks like we do. So.
Okay. So is there something specific that you would like to change or tweak out there on the track?
There are a few other adjustments definitely ready to be made, but still I want to be sure before I will do them, and yeah, we'll see. Future will show what we're gonna change. But for now, I'm happy. I just need to feel a bit more comfortable. But I think these few practice days will give me the chance to do it.
So last year we saw you come in and we saw you build every single event and then take that win at Irwindale. So does that win do anything for your confidence coming into Long Beach, or are they two different?
They are definitely two different tracks, but I feel definitely better. I feel so happy that I can my career already have some top spot of Formula Drift. So I'm very happy to have such a record, let's say. But yeah, we just started new season. Now everything is starting from the scratch, and we need to stay focused, try the new things, try to feel as good in the car as possible, and yeah, that's the plan.
Well, I really like that plan, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming over and chatting with us. I know I'll be chatting with you on Saturday. Yeah. Peter, thank you so much. Thank you, dear. All right, Kyle Mohan, come here. You? Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, so good. How's it going with you?
Oh, fantastic. We're down here, Long Beach Grand Prix, Formula Drift. This is my hometown, and we've got our 2018 MX-5 ready to go, completely updated, new gearbox, new wheels, fresh necks and tires. And we brought our two partners back from last year, American Ethanol and Top One. Bigger and badder than ever, and we're ready to just make some noise and smoke some tires.
Love it. Man, that is so exciting. I mean, coming into 2018, it is a clean slate, like fresh sheets, and it just...
Get rid of 2017,
I mean, how do you do that? How do you shake that off and start anew?
Well, it's always difficult. Coming out of the end of the year, we were plagued with just some car problems. We had some transmission issues. We had some motor issues. I'm the engine builder. That was frustrating for me. So I set forth right after October, beginning of the off-season, to develop new engine packages, new transmission packages. And we really worked with all of our partners and just rebuilt the car from the ground up. So you basically see the roll cage and the chassis we had last year, but virtually every component that we put into the car, what the team did, created a new car for me to drive this year, which hopefully will be faster, more stable, and I think looks way cooler and way wilder for this year. So,
amazing. Did you have enough time during the off season?
Somehow, there's never enough time. I worked late nights, we worked the crew extra hard, we even made our complete own body kit. And a week or two ago, I thought for sure, I was like, excellent, we're going testing, we're getting on the dyno. And then, you know, things happen. Parts get delayed in the mail. You can't always make it to the track the way you want to. And all of a sudden, the event's upon us. And I would say we used every hour possible getting the car ready. If we didn't have a deadline, I'm sure every Formula D team would just keep building the cars until they were monsters. But you give us a deadline, we have to show up, we have to put a wrap on it, and we're happy to be out here. So
how much sleep have you gotten so far?
Oh, that's a mean question. So I don't know, cumulative or last night? I made the crew work till 3 a.m. last night, and then we were back at the shop at 6. And I told everybody I didn't want to be mean, but I just wanted things to be right. There's no point in working all off season for all of our partners, all of our fans, all of us as a team, and then not put every ounce we could into coming out here. So just like today, we're going to give everything we can for the media ride-alongs, and then we're going to go back to the shop because we're local and re-prepare, dial everything in for the event this weekend. And it's war. You know, we're coming out swinging for Long Beach.
I love that. Anything else you'd like the fans to know?
Follow Kyle Mohan Racing. Check out our Facebook, check out our social media. We're trying to get more active on our YouTube channel, and we've got a new social media team, Wisdom Productions, that's actually going to be following us around. So follow Kyle Mohan, check out our products, and come say hi at the track. I'm actually a nice guy.
Oh, he's a great guy. He's a really, really friendly guy. So
I build the motors, I work on the car. If my hands are dirty, I might actually be a little busy, but hey, just yell at me. I'll definitely try to make the time. We can talk triangles or anything else.
Yeah. Kyle always takes time for his fans, and your missus is spotting for you.
Yeah, it's a family effort. My dad is part of the team. One of my high school friends still works with me, and my wife is my spotter. Yep. I've got a great engineer who handles all the important stuff, but it's great to have family and friends with you around the country.
Oh, that's so cool. Best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. So hey, good luck. Do great things. Do great things.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Ryan.
How are you? What a
Sage.
surprise. Nice
you guys,
to see you.
it's Ryan Sage.
I didn't know you were live streaming today. Wow.
He's being very sarcastic because he has been my producer and letting me know
I was giving her notes the whole time.
Yep.
So
Ryan has been behind the scenes, and he has been directing us down here in the cold pits, because the hot pits are over there. So on Saturday, 2018, I'm so excited. I know you are too, and you have been running around. He is a man that wears many, many hats. Vice president, co-owner of Drift, co-announcer. I mean, what else do you do? Everything.
yeah, I mean, we all wear a lot of hats at the office. It's a small company, but you know, we want to do a lot, so we all have to do a lot. And that's just the way it goes, you know, and as we try to grow the business. But, you know, it's really fun. It's been a great off season, a lot of craziness. The silly season was insane, and a lot of shakeups. You know, it looks like we're going to have a full field this year, which is really exciting after last year with 28 drivers. And so I think, you know, in trying to help grow the sport and bring more people into the sport internationally, we're starting to see that, especially with, you know, with James and with Peter and all the international love that they've gotten. So really looking forward to kicking it off again this year.
Yeah. Italy coming in with the Ferrari. Yeah. That's exciting. But there's been a lot of changes too, a lot of media, should I say, upgrades for Formula Drift?
Yeah, we're really trying to focus a lot on where we think that it matters for us, you know, in terms of like live stream content, you know, and we're going to be doing a lot more distribution this year. You're going to be able to find the live stream on almost every platform, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Daily Motion. Because we really want to try to reach out. We think the product is a solid product, and you know, from what we experimented with last year and doing multi-platform distribution, it seemed to be successful. So we're trying to give more content and more content within the show to fans. So along with yourself, we got the halftime show, we got Robbie Nishida coming on board, so lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, so Chris Forsberg is backing up because we are coming to the end of our break where the drivers are going to go back out on the track. So they just had a lunchtime break. But Ryan, what else would you love for the fans to know?
Well, I think you know, the biggest thing is, you know, we've added one more round in the United States this year in St. Louis, so we're really excited to get to the Midwest. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. all of us are really sad to leave Canada, but it became just really difficult for the teams to be able to make that happen. And car count is a really important factor for us. We want to try to continue to grow the field as much as we possibly can. We're in a really interesting place where right now we actually have exactly 32 drivers. So there's not going to be anybody sad come Friday night unless they wreck out. And I think that should make for some great tandem. You know, Kevin Wells has done an incredible job in the offseason trying to rewrite some rules and really focus our attention on where we want the sport to be strong, and that's in head-to-head battles. So we've done some things in the rulebook that we think are going to help make a better product, and hopefully that'll be more exciting for fans.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, I think since the guys are going to start driving out to the track, yeah, we're going to go let them drive. Well, you guys can check out all the action. Our gates open at Friday at 10 a.m. for qualifying. Then it starts at 1, right? And then on Saturday, it's the big day. Gates open at 8?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. That's what I said. So join us Friday for qualifying. Saturday is the big day. If you can't make it here at Long Beach, then of course we're going to be streaming. We are on a ton of platforms like Ryan said, so check out the website, formulad.com. Did I get everything?
You got it. You covered it. You're the best.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on Friday and Saturday.